In this table, I have a column, column C, or the profit column. This column shows how much profit each salesperson made. What we have here are nice round numbers. However, it would be good to know in what currency the salespeople made this profit. It does matter, for example, if this profit of 2,000 is in United States dollars, euros, or in Russian rubles. And it would also be nice if we could see a 1,000 separator. So let's format these cells. I will select cell C2. We can go to the number command group and we can click on this down pointing arrow next to the dollar symbol. And we could choose an accounting number format. If the currency that we want to use is not here, we could click on more accounting formats. However, let's not do that, so let's click outside of this drop-down and let's click on the number format drop-down. You see we have the currency option or the accounting option. These are quite similar. The drop-down next to the dollar sign symbol showed accounting formats to us, but first let's choose currency. Now some interesting things happened. First of all, now we have the dollar symbol before the profit, so before the number, so we see that this number, this 1,000, is in United States dollars. A 1,000 separator was also applied, so now we have 1,000, which means 1,000, but the 1 is separated from the 3 zeros. And we also have a period, which is a decimal separator, and by default we got 2 decimal places. We could of course get rid of these decimal places, but let's just add them back. So the first question you might have is, what if I don't want to use dollars? What if I want to use a totally different currency? In this case, we can click on this downward pointing arrow, and we are in the currency formatting group, and we can just use a different symbol. Let's choose euros, for example. So there are quite a few options for euros. It doesn't really matter which one we choose, but for example, you see that if we choose this option, then the euro symbol will come before the number, but if you choose this option, then the euro symbol comes after the number. So let's choose the one where the euro symbol precedes the number. And let's click on OK. So this answers our question about what we should do to change the currency. Now, of course, there is another question. Must I use the comma as a 1,000 separator and a period as the decimal separator? And the answer is no. Excel gives us the possibility to change these separators. Let's swap them. So let's make the period the 1,000 separator and the comma the decimal separator. That would be the format that they use in Germany, I believe. So let's go to File. Let's click on Options. And in the Excel options window, let's choose Advanced. Now here in the editing options, there is an option for using the system separators. So in my system, the 1,000 separator is the comma and the decimal separator is the period. For you, it could be different or it could be the same. Let's untick this. And now the decimal separator and 1,000 separator options are not grayed out, so we can edit them. If I click the Use System Separators option back on, then these options are grayed out and I cannot edit them, so let's untick this. And let me put the comma as the decimal separator and the period as the 1,000 separator. Let's click on OK. And here we go. The separators have been swapped. Let me swap again the separators because I like that style better. So let me go back to File, Options, and Advanced. I can tick the Use System Separators and then my system separators will be used, so I will click on OK. So now we are back to the default, or at least my default. But let's go back again to File, Options, Advanced. So you see that the decimal separator is still a comma for me and the 1,000 separator is the period. However, you see that it's vice versa here. So once you tick the Use System Separators, it doesn't matter what is here. Excel should always use your system separators. What your system separators are, depends on your operating system or your region and locale and so on and so on. Now I will untick this use system separators and I will just put the defaults back. And if I click on OK, nothing should change. And indeed, nothing changed. I will go back once again and I will just tick the use system separators box and click on OK, and nothing changed again. Now we know how we can indicate currencies in Excel, and now we also know how we can change the thousand and decimal separators. Let's discuss negative numbers in relation to currencies. Let me change this 4,000 to minus 4,000. So now what happened is that John Davis made minus 4,000 profit, so the company lost 4,000 something because of him. Now let's stick to euros for all our values, so basically John Davis lost 4,000 euros. Let's format this cell as a currency. So let me go to this drop down and let me choose currency. So because my default is the dollar, I still have the dollar here and not the euro. So I have the minus sign, then the dollar sign, and then 4,000, and I have the separators, so it says minus 4,000. Now I can click on this downward pointing arrow to adjust the format, or I can click with my right mouse button on the cell when the cell is selected, and then I can choose Format Cells, and I will arrive at the same place. So let's change the symbol to the euro again. And we have another option for negative numbers. So the currently selected option is that we have minus symbol, then the euro symbol, and then the number. Now we have three more options. The second one is the euro symbol, the number, but it's in red, so red indicates that we are in the negative. A bit above in this sample box you see how approximately this will look like in our spreadsheet. It's a shame that it stayed black though, however, if I clicked on OK, this would turn red, so the real cell value would turn red. The third option we have is that the amount will be in black, however, it will be between parentheses. And these parentheses indicate that the number is negative. A slightly different option, but very similar to this third option, is that we have the parentheses, but the number or the value itself is in red. Let's select this one. So now we have minus 4,000 in cell C3. And we can confirm this by adding cell C2 and cell C3 together. So let's do it in cell E3. C2 plus C3. Now we see minus $3,000. So we confirm that it is indeed minus 4,000, so Excel understands this as minus 4,000. But of course the formatting is not good because it's still dollars in cell E3. Now we could format this cell, but actually we don't need this cell, we just needed confirmation that this value is indeed a negative number. So I will just delete the contents of cell E3. Now when it comes to currencies, there is the option to change the format to currency, but we also have the accounting format option. And if we go next to this dollar symbol and click on this arrow, then you see that there are some accounting formats already defined by Excel, and we can choose more accounting formats. Now actually in this cell, so in cell E3 I don't have a value, so let's go to cell C4. And I can also right click, go to Format Cells, and choose the accounting format. So we can set the number of decimal places and we can choose a currency. So let's choose the euro again. However, we cannot choose the appearance of the negative numbers when we are using the accounting format. Now let's click on OK. You see that the euro symbol is in the left side of the cell and the number is in the right side of the cell. So this format is a bit different than the currency format that you can see in cell C2. But basically they are the same. Now let's make this 3,500 a negative number. and simply use the Format Painter command to copy the format of cell C4 onto cell C7. So when you're using the accounting format, this is how a negative number is represented, in parentheses but in black. Now you know what, let's just copy the format of cell C2 onto all the cells under it. And let's just sum up all these numbers. Now I don't even have to format this cell because it shows me euros. It can, however, happen, as you saw earlier, that a formula will choose the incorrect formatting option. But of course, it's not a problem because you can always change a format of a cell. And it is actually very advantageous that Excel lets us format each cell differently, so in a different currency. An accountant, for example, might have to work with multiple currencies. So we might have a column that shows the profit in euros and another one that shows the profit in dollars, for example. We have reached the end of this topic, so see you in the next video.